Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Wednesday, the 9th of February 2022, and we're producing our regular morning update providing prices, news and economic data. Today we see gold and silver prices rise even further, with silver stealing the show somewhat. So let's take a look. Welcome to Illuminati Silver. It's Wednesday, the 9th of February 2022 at 12:10 early afternoon here in the United Kingdom. We are going back to morning videos. Unfortunately, today's is late because I had a very interesting discussion with a bullion dealer this morning. It lasted over 2 hours, and I shall be revealing to you an offer that the bullion dealer is able to make our members, subscribers and viewers. Now, interestingly, it's very rare that we recommend anyone in this space because they have to be tried and tested. So look out later in the week as we shall be mentioning these individuals shortly. Meanwhile, looking at the news today, well, another mixed bag we can see. With crypto, though rising in price, is still awash with, shall we say, crooks. And we'll take a look at that right now. Crocodile of Wall Street arrested in Bitcoin scandal made for crypto era. Heather Morgan and Claire Lichtenstein's world of TED Talk style speeches and music videos collapsed around them when they were arrested over stolen Bitcoin worth $4.5 billion. They are, to hear the feds tell it, a Bonnie and Clyde for the crypto age, made for TikTok personalities who broke bad glamorously right before their followers' eyes. She billed herself as the Crocodile of Wall Street, and Russell Khan, a surrealist artist and rapper with tattooed hands, and she boasted more pizzazz than Genghis Khan. He assumed a tamer persona, that of tech entrepreneur and occasional magician, who'd proposed in a social media moment via flashing billboards in Times Square. At 7 a.m. on Tuesday, their blingy world of TED Talk-style salons and music videos collapsed around them when they were arrested by federal law enforcement officials in New York City and accused of a crime that would have seemed preposterous in a halcyon pre-cryptocurrency era, enriching themselves off a cachet of stolen Bitcoin that is today worth about $4.5 billion. Detained on charges of conspiring to launder 119,754 Bitcoin. The digital currency, the authorities say, came from the 2016 hack of Bitfinex, a cryptocurrency exchange owned and operated by iFinex Inc. So there we go. Criminals being caught, and I hear you shouting now, what about the criminals in the gold and silver space? Well, we'll see if they end up with similar ramifications. Bonds rally as ECB policymakers push back on rate hike wagers. The last couple of days we highlighted the fact that news reports were suggesting that the ECB were going to tighten policy. Well, interestingly, a relief rally spread across the world's biggest government bond markets on Wednesday after yet another policymaker from the European Central Bank pushed back against traders betting on a rapid pace of interest rate hikes this year. The 10-year yield on Italian debt snapped a 7-day advance. The equivalent German yield fell as much as 5 basis points, putting it on track to end its longest rising streak on record. The moves filtered through to the United States Treasury market, pulling the 10-year yield further away from a critical 2% threshold. Investors may have overreacted to what they see as a hawkish pivot from the European Central Bank. Bank of France Governor François Villeroy de Galhau said at the Finance Committee of France's National Assembly. His comments come after President Christine Lagarde told European Parliament on Monday that any adjustment to monetary policy will be gradual. Well, it will be gradual, and we will see an interest rate rise because the markets will force them into it. Otherwise, the euro will virtually go into slip mode, and if that is what they're aiming for to boost exports, that could be a temporary fillip, an advantage to them. But if inflation continues to rise at the rate that it is, they will have no choice. BBC News: Brexit causing increased costs and delays, say MPs. The Brexit haters are out again. Merger talks between LV and Royal London, some of our insurance and finance companies. Rental costs jump as workers return to the office. US and Canada. University a $250 million payout for doctors' sex abuse. Arrests as Ottawa warned of volatile protesters. Canadian capital on edge as trucker protests roll on. Dollar index down slightly today, but still well above 95 at 95.48. Energy prices hovering around that $90 level, down marginally 36 cents for Brent crude and 40 cents for WTI crude. Equity markets, Asia Pacific overnight, all of them up actually, which is rare. Normally we see the Hang Seng in a different direction to the Nikkei, but we have prices rising or markets rising between 1 and 2%. Dow Jones yesterday up 1%. The S&P and Nasdaq also up similar amounts. And today we have Europe and UK markets also up between 0.75% and 1.5%. Now, economic data on Monday. We had the consumer credit figures actually announced, and they came in at $19 billion for December. And that was against expectations of $24 billion. We did say do not be surprised if consumer credit is down, because the general consensus is spending has been down. So people have been borrowing less money. In some respects, that's a good thing. From the economy's point of view, arguably it's a bad thing because it's suggesting that people are not spending so much. Then yesterday we had the Nfib Small Business Index coming in slightly below expectations at 97.1. The international trade deficit, it was minus 80.7 billion against expectations of 82.8, so marginally better. And real household debt year over year for quarter 4 is down from the previous figures of 1.8 to 1.4%. Now today we have wholesale inventory revision for December. Frankly, whatever that comes out at is not really going to affect markets. We have a few conversations by the Fed Gov, Michelle Baumann, and Cleveland Fed President Loretta Mester. They're speaking today. They might give a little bit away, but again, we're not getting overexcited about what can be coming out of the US today. The geopolitical news is perhaps more important. What is President Putin going to do over Ukraine? Now, tomorrow, though, we do have some important data. Of course, we have the regular weekly jobless claims, but we also have the consumer price index, and that will be very closely watched tomorrow. Markets are expecting 0.4% rise for January against 0.5 and 0.6% the previous month. We shall see. If it's higher than that, then it will almost go without saying that interest rates will be rising in the US in March. If, however, it's considerably lower, which we doubt, then who knows? Perhaps they'll delay it to the following month. Gold prices really doing quite well, up $9. We now have gold at $18.27. It's been as high as $18.29 and as low as $18.17 today. People are developing confidence in gold and silver, and even we are getting now mildly bullish, particularly about gold, but silver has outperformed gold today. So we've seen gold prices up 0.5%, whereas silver is actually up almost 2%, up 44 cents at $23.28. Now, we remember it wasn't that long ago, just over or just under 2 weeks ago, silver took a bit of a hammering, and now it's starting to recover some ground again. $24 silver's not out of the question. We don't think we're going to see that this week. It's not out of the question, but equally $22 silver's not out of the question either, depending on the data moving forward. We actually think it's going to remain within this 275 to 2350 level for the rest of the week, but we'll wait and see what happens. Cryptocurrency markets again going up, strengthening further, and we now have The global crypto market cap, as we suggested earlier in the week, it's now reached $2 trillion again. Bitcoin is still heading north and is just shy of $44,000. Yes, that's a considerable discount to the $69,000 it was a few months ago, but it's considerably higher than the $33,000 it was a couple of weeks ago. That's it for now. Watch out for our talking about a gold bullion dealer. We may even have an interview with them shortly, but we shall cover them either tomorrow or on the weekend, but certainly before the week is out, so that you can see one of the very few and rare companies that we recommend. Thank you so much for listening. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, press the bell sign. Until tomorrow. Illuminati silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.